Someone is being told something terrible, a diagnosis, a death, a betrayal. The words are still landing. The sentence isn't even finished. And on their face, something appears that doesn't belong there at all. A smile. Small, often. Sometimes a quiet, embarrassed laugh. Nothing as big as joy. Just the wrong shape of expression at exactly the wrong moment. And the person delivering the bad news, watching this happen, doesn't know what to do with it. They expected tears, shock, anger. They were prepared for any of those. They were not prepared for the small wrong curl at the corner of the mouth that looks, for a confusing second, like the listener is pleased. If you have ever been the one who smiles in those moments, you already know what happens next. The shame, the replaying of the scene afterward, wondering what is wrong with you. The quiet fear that maybe everyone is right. Maybe you really are cold or broken or strange. You did not feel happy. You felt nothing. Or you felt too much, all at once. And your face made a decision your heart had not yet caught up to. This is what is actually happening in that moment. And once you understand it, you may be able to stop being so quietly afraid of yourself. Start with the most important thing, because nothing else makes sense until you see this clearly. The smile is not the emotion. It is not what you feel. It is what your nervous system does when an emotion has not yet had time to arrive. The information has come in. They died. It's cancer. He lied to me. And the part of you that will eventually feel it, fully, has not yet been able to load the response. There is a gap, sometimes of seconds, sometimes of hours, between hearing a piece of devastating news and actually feeling it. In that gap, the body has to do something with its face. And what it often does, in people whose systems are wired a certain way, is offer the most socially neutral expression it has on hand, which is, in human beings, a small smile. The smile is not a reaction to the news. It is the placeholder that goes up while the real reaction is still being built. This is more visible once you know what to look for. The psychologist Paul Ekman, who spent decades cataloging human facial expressions, identified a difference between two kinds of smiles that look identical to casual observers and are not the same thing at all. The smile of genuine joy involves a specific muscle around the eyes. It creases the corners, lifts the cheek, lights the whole face. The smile of social distress doesn't. It uses only the mouth. The eyes stay still, sometimes wide, sometimes blank. If you have ever photographed yourself smiling and felt, looking at the picture later, that something was off, that you looked like you were faking it even though you weren't, you have probably seen one of these on yourself. It is the smile of the body managing a moment, not the smile of a person enjoying one. And it is exactly the kind of smile that appears, uninvited, when someone tells you the world has just shifted under your feet. But the nervous system is only the first layer. There is a second one, and it explains why some people do this and others don't. For a lot of chronic smilers, this response was learned early, deep, and for very good reasons. Researchers who study what they call display rules, the unspoken family rules about which emotions are allowed to be shown, have found that children pick these up almost before they can speak. In some homes, distress was met with comfort. In others, distress was met with annoyance, or punishment, or a sharp "don't be dramatic." A child in the second kind of home does not stop having distress. The feeling still happens, but the expression of it gets quietly rewired. The face learns to do something safer, something less likely to provoke, something that reassures the people around it that everything is under control, even when everything is inside is not. For some of those children, the safer expression that the face learns is the smile, not because they were happy, because the smile was the one expression that almost never got punished. And the body, brilliant and pragmatic, started reaching for it whenever a feeling was too dangerous to show plainly. Decades later, as an adult, the same body still reaches for it, automatically, without permission, in the exact moments it most needs to do something else. The reflex was never updated. The protection became the betrayal. And here is the part that is genuinely tender, because almost nobody who does this realizes it about themselves. A great deal of the time, the smile is also a gift to the person delivering the news. You can see it if you slow the moment down. The person telling them the terrible thing is already in pain. They didn't want to be the one to say it. They're watching for the listener's reaction. They're braced for what they're about to cause. And something in the listener, often without their conscious knowledge, protects them. The smile is partly the body saying, "It's okay. I'm not going to make this worse for you. You don't have to take care of me right now. I'll take care of myself in a few minutes when you're not looking. The chronic smiler is very often, underneath everything, an overfunctioner, someone whose first instinct in any moment of crisis is to manage the room rather than be a person in it. The smile is the opening move of that management. It is, in a sad and beautiful way, an act of care. And then comes the cost, because the world reads the smile, and the world doesn't have access to any of this. It sees a face doing the wrong thing in the wrong moment, and it draws a conclusion. They didn't care. They thought it was funny. There's something wrong with them. The smiler hears these things, sometimes for years, and slowly starts to believe them. They begin to suspect that maybe their emotions really are broken, that they really are colder than other people, that something inside them missed a wire most people got. And the cruel irony is that they were, in that moment, often feeling more, not less, than the people around them. They were feeling so much that the system had to short-circuit into a smile to buy time. The smile was not the absence of grief. It was the first clumsy attempt to survive it. So if you are one of these people, here is what to do with this. The next time the wrong expression appears on your face in a moment that called for something else, try to remember what is actually happening. The smile is a placeholder. The grief is on its way. Your nervous system is not malfunctioning. It is doing what it was trained to do, in the only way it knows how. And the training happened so long ago that you cannot remember signing up for it. You do not have to defend yourself to the room. You only have to know, privately, that the real feeling is coming, and that when it arrives, it will be exactly the size it should be, because nothing got skipped. It was only ever delayed. The smile was never the truth of how you felt. It was only ever the truth of how much you had once been taught not to show.